Oh, that bag does not get any lighter. Woo-wee. So this is not in my backpack yet, but this is a new addition soon to go in. Mini quads, or FPV. I'm practicing with it in a minute. I'm totally suck, but I got it anyway to practice because that's how you got to start. This will be going in my backpack very soon.
I see other tables turn. I swear I will never learn. But this life, it kills fire. And I know that you'll get by. Yeah, I know that you'll be fine. With that life, I'll die down.
What's up guys, Karl here and welcome back to another What Adventures video. And as you can tell from the title and the thumbnail of this video, I want to share with you what's in our camera gear backpack for 2019, but for traveling. Just as a nice little teaser for a video coming up. Any of you might recognize this one. It's an FPV mini quad. I've recently added it to my backpack. Well, it's not in there yet because I'm still learning with it, but this one is going to add some real juicy shots. So I want to put this video together because I've had questions from some of you of what camera gear that we have in our backpack, the stuff that we make our travel videos with, and the go-to stuff that we take on our travels. So while we're talking about drones, the drone that I do have, that I have my go-to drone that I take with me, the Mavic Air, and the reason I have this one and not the Mavic Pro 2 yet, well, first of all, its size. It shoots in 4K, which is amazing, and it's lightweight and it fits straight in the camera bag. Now, I go to a lot of places where customs and immigration don't allow these things in. And I'll cover it again in this other video as to how I get through customs and into other countries with this with no problem. I've never had one drone taken off of me. There's a technique to it and I'll cover that in another video. But this one goes straight in the bag, no problem. I really do want to upgrade to the Mavic Pro 2 with a Hasselblad camera. It's all the hype, everyone's got them now, but there's just something that's refraining me from actually getting it. And the main reason is the drone is always the main piece of tech that I always update. And every time I seem to make that move and update to the next one, DJI launches a new one and I'm like, dope. Now I should have waited and now I'm stuck with this one. But to be honest with you, I've seen some reviews online. Compromising with, well, first of all, the price tag on this one is certainly a lot less than the Mavic Pro 2. And I do a lot of sketchy stuff with the drones. I like to be risky with it to get the best shots. And if it goes down in the water or goes down from a good height and damages it, it's not going to massively break the bank. Okay, it's going to hurt, but not as much as the Mavic Pro 2 will. And that's got a high price tag on it. Plus it's heavier, plus it's bigger in size. So that means I've got to fill more space in my camera bag again. Now, when you're traveling, you always want to try and keep stuff on your back as lightweight as possible and minimal in size. So you minimize the footprint in your bag, so you can put, I guess, more stuff in. So this one for me is perfectly fine, and I'm happy to compromise on the quality, which when you're uploading to YouTube, you don't really notice too much anyway on which drone was used. Although the footage from the Mavic Pro 2 is utter juicy, I'm happy with this one. One battery I use for my recon shoot, so I can see what I'm going to shoot in the air first, and then these two go towards my actual shots that I'm going to record with. So first one is just to get recon, second two, but I might get a fourth one depending on if I'm up for putting more weight in there. So first of all, I want to go through the bag, and it's been pretty good. I like the bag. It's got loads of attachments on it, loads of little pieces on the edge where you can hang all your stuff, including the Gorilla Pod. I do use the Joby, although I've seen some bad reviews online with this one so far, because it's just been falling over and damaging the cameras, but they are putting heavy cameras on there like 1DX Mark IIs and stuff like that, and they are heavy, but with the Joby, these little Gorilla Pod stand bits, they do weaken after a while and get really loose, and you're only really going to find out when you've mounted it up somewhere and then it falls off and your lens mount in the camera's screwed, which can get really pricey. So I do feel for some of you guys that that's happened to so far, but I'm still rocking this. Still goes everywhere with me on our travels. Now the camera, the DSLR camera that that I use is the one I'm filming on right now, and it's the one we use to film our studio time with, and it's the Canon 60 Mark II. I have no problems with it. It could always be better quality, but the price range is good enough, and I take it on our adventures, so if I do damage it, it's not going to break the bank too much. I love the flip out screen. The dual pixel autofocus is amazing for what we need it for, so it's perfect for that, so I take that one. I do have my backup camera. Now this is an absolute workhorse, you wouldn't believe it. It's the Canon 5D Mark II. I've had it for about 7 years and I still use it. I have no problems with it. I find it really hard to get rid of tech, but I use this one for a lot of our photography. I shoot sash when we're out in some landscapes and those kind of environments. But this one is mainly my backup camera, and the image quality is still really good if you're still into shooting 1080p. I do have a point and shoot. The Sony RX100 Mark V. This one is great for just sticking in my pocket when we're on the bikes or in a car, and it's an easy go-to camera. Flip out the old screen, do a piece to camera, do a quick vlog. The audio is all right if it's not windy. I did modify it and have the old fluffy dead cat fluff ball things up there, but in and out of the pocket loads of times it just peeled off. But this one's really good, and sometimes you can't even tell the difference between the DSLR and this one, especially when you're using the video for YouTube, which we all are these days. So point and shoot, really good, really handy to have, not too heavy. But as it's a Sony, it's a killer on batteries. So you've always got to have tons and tons of batteries in there as well. I am thinking on switching to the Sony camera for my DSLR, possibly the A7R III in the future. I'm toying with the idea at the moment, but I've always been a Canon user, and I might switch over to the Sony later on and maybe have complete Sony gear. But the only problem is I've got all my L series Canon lenses which work on that, and they work well with the autofocus system. And it's not so good transferring that over to the Sony. Anyway, I'm playing with the idea, so maybe I'll change that. But right now, Canon 60 Mark II and the 5D Mark II as my backup. As for lights, I have the Aperture Amaron, which you can see over there in the background, the nice little blue gel on it. I have that one just as a nice little accent. It's small enough, really, really small, so I can just fit it in, and it's always good to have an LED light on you for those dark environments and at nighttime. So really good to have that. My trusty notepad, I take this one everywhere with me, not just on our travels, but meetings, coffee shops, everywhere I go, because all the ideas in here need to come out somewhere, and I put everything down in here. Points to cover in future vlogs, general ideas and concepts, shot list, all tons of good stuff. I take this everywhere with me, so belongs in there. Nice little pouch to stick my ND filters, nice and organized to settle my OCD. I'm completely OCD and I have to have everything organized, so that's nice to have them. I won't go through what they're used for because there's tons of content out already as to what ND filters are for, but that one goes in there, nice and tidily. And these think tank bags, which I have all my cables and stuff organized in, they're doing some really nice pouches and stuff lately, so I organize stuff nicely in there. My battery bank and some audio gear is in there. I've got a 15,500 milliamp hour battery bank there, which charges my Note 8 about 4 times, and it also charges my laptop now with the USB-C, which is pretty spot on. Some audio gear in there, nicely organized, and all my cables in there, so it's nicely organized in there. Still using the HDD hard drives, not converted to SDD yet, but this is my go-to one for my data I edit from, and then I back up all of that on here. Always good to have a backup, so using this Lassie one. I really want to move over to solid state drive just for safety and security and not losing data, because I do bash my stuff around quite a lot. Now you're probably wondering what I record all the audio with. Now I use the video mic, the Rode Video Micro. It's such an underrated mic, but it's really, really good. It comes with a dead cat. I'm actually recording on it right now above me here. And I've had no issues with it. As long as you're not too far away from the camera and there's not too much noise going on. You've always got to monitor the noise and make sure there's not too much noise anyway, but that is an awesome mic. It's underrated and it's small and lightweight, so it's perfect for traveling. So that's the microphone that I use. Headphones I use for when I'm editing. Now, these are not spoken about enough. In fact, I've not actually heard anyone talking about these. They're the Head Candy Crush wireless headphones. Now, I went to the store and checked about 5 different pairs of headphones, the high range ones, Sennheiser, the Bose, and I picked these ones out because they've got low frequency adjustments, which is really good when you're editing. So I can monitor those low frequencies. And they're noise reducing as well, so they block out all the noise from outside, and they're just really good, and they look cool as well. Nice matte black. So I just wanted to show these ones because I really like them, and I take these ones everywhere as well in a travel bag. The Photix remote switch for taking photos, and also has the intervalometer on it as well. It's not as expensive as Canon's own one, but always trying to save on budget here. And this one I mainly use when I'm taking the shots when Sasha and I are out solo and there's no one else to take photos, and I leave the camera set up. We go and walk off into the scene, and this one takes shots every 5 seconds or something like that, and take a whole bunch of shots and then choose from it. So this one always comes with me. More OCD organizing material from Think Tank. This one has the DSLR batteries in. Nice little hack that I have for this. 4 batteries go in here, and there's little arrows on the Canon batteries. But the ones with the arrow facing up, these are the ones that are charged, and the ones with arrows facing downwards, I know they're not charged. So if I'm on the go, run and gun, and I need to change batteries really quickly, I open this up and I already know which ones are charged. Done. Nice and organized. Belongs in there. Beauty. I do carry a laptop as well in the bag, the MacBook Pro with Touch Bar 13-inch. This one is more than sufficient for the editing power I need and the processor when we're out traveling. It's lighter and smaller than the 15-inch, and the price tag is smaller as well. So this one is perfect, does the job, fits right in the bag. Has USB-C, which is a bit of a ball ache, but you have to get the hub, which has all the extra attachments in for SD card, micro SD, blah, blah, blah. Loads of extra pieces you have to get to that. Thanks, Apple. Always make sure I carry a spare tea with me. It does get a bit hot and sweaty out in the field when you're adventuring. Yeah, not quite now, but I do get a bit smelly, and this is a perfect little refresh. Now, I have been asked by a few people what gear I take with me on the multi-day tours, like the extreme rally raids on the bikes. Now, this is a bit of a hack. Now, I do take this. Yes, it's underwear, but there's logic behind this one. The material it's made from is 10% spandex and 90% polyester, and you have to cool wash it in cold water. And what that means is you can wash it in a sink. So basically, and here's the hack, you can take one pair of underwear or one piece of underwear with you traveling for 10 days, and that's it. Yes, it might sound disgusting, but when you finished a tour ride at the end of the day, and yeah, you're gonna be super sweaty, quick 5-minute wash and rinse in the sink, and this is nice and fresh. It dries within 5 minutes because of the material it's made from, and you're good to go. You've got a nice fresh piece of underwear. So you only really need to take one piece of underwear with you, which is a big bonus because you're always trying to minimize the footprint in your bag. I want to give these guys a quick shout out because they actually give me a whole bunch of these to test out, and I love them. So Ethica. And I think a lot of the bicycle riders and athletes and stuff like that wear this kind of material. So it's out there already, you've seen it. It's nothing new, but as underwear, great hack. And the trusty old GoPro, of course, you can't leave home without one of these. I've got the cage on it just for extra, I guess, safety. I use this one for a lot of time lapses, but it's great to just whiz out of the bag, action shot, stick it to the car, stick it to the bike, on your helmet, you're good to go. So it's always good to have one of these. Sometimes I take 2, but the majority of the time it's just one that goes with us, trying to keep the weight down. I haven't got it in me to upgrade and spend the money on the new ones that they just keep launching over and over again, but I find the 4 is more than enough for what I need for. So this one is always on us. That's that. And I want to come back to this little beauty because this is going to be in the camera bag very, very soon, and you're going to start seeing some B-roll sequences from this bad boy. I'm super pumped to get better. I'm training at the moment. I'm using the Liftoff software simulator software to train on it at the minute, but I will create another video about that. If any of you tech geeks or cinematographers or travel videographers and photographers want to get into this, I'll put another video together that goes through my learning process and how you can get started with these as well. I do have some pro gear like the gimbal. It is heavy and a lot bigger. It doesn't fit in the bag, but if we can be bothered, we take it with us because the shots you can get with a 3-axis gimbal are juice. And it's always good to get really nice, steady, cinematic shots. So it's just a big decision every time we're going traveling. Do I take it? Do I not? But I do have a lot of pro gear that I do a lot of commercial shoots with clients, a lot of cinema cameras, big sensor cameras and stuff like that, which of course I don't take traveling. But maybe I'll do another video of that gear that I use for those kind of projects, but definitely not for traveling. So that pretty much concludes what's in our camera bag for 2019 and the stuff we take on our adventures and travels with us to capture our vlogs and share all of our videos with you. If you found this video beneficial and it's answered a few questions, awesome. Let me know by giving me a like. Any questions you do have, again, as always, let us know in the comment section below. Building a community here. Let us know all the questions down there so everyone else can see them. I will reply. Sasha couldn't join me on this vlog because she's out doing a thing with yoga, teaching some clients, healing more people, which is amazing. I'm sure she'll be back in the next video. And until then, I'll catch you in the next video.